So today I want to cover some self-defense videos and just give you a couple tips of what we could do as average day citizens to not be a victim of crime. So let me play this clip real quick and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Patterson is telling New Jersey's Attorney General to get out of his city. This after a brazen robbery was caught on surveillance video. The Attorney General took over Patterson's police department back in March of 2023. Christine Sloan covers New Jersey and has the story.
Several masked young men holding weapons are seen barging into a barber shop on the 300 block of Main Street in broad daylight. The terrifying moment captured on surveillance video Friday from a next-door liquor store camera.
They just come over here to the next door with, heavy weapons, and they rob everybody with that.
At least 5 people were robbed at Yadiel Barber Shop, according to the Attorney General's office in New Jersey, now in charge of Patterson's police department. A spokesperson says the gunman took cash, jewelry, phones, and a key fob from victims. Later Friday, gunmen entered this smoke shop on West Broadway, taking cash and shooting one person, now in stable condition. The AG's office says the 2 incidents don't appear to be connected, but the possibility hasn't been ruled out.
You're talking about individuals wielding.
All right, I'm gonna cover the stop it right here. Yeah, so that guy got robbed, and one thing that I do to not be a mark is I don't look like a mark. I have no jewelry on ever. I look like I'm worth $20. I look like my outfit. I got it at a thrift store. Actually, I did get this I bought this at Goodwill. Yeah, so they went after that dude with the clean haircut, nice clothes, and that nice watch, and they ignored all the poor looking people because obviously they don't have anything to rob. So that's just one piece of advice: is if you live in a high crime area or in an area where you might be at risk of getting robbed, best advice is don't look like you got money. In the Houston area, I've heard of people getting robbed for the Rolex watches. There was this one guy, I think it happened either a year ago or a couple of years ago. It's pretty recent, but he was eating at a restaurant in a nice neighborhood at a really upscale place, and he got followed home for like 20 minutes, and he got robbed as he's going home for his Rolex watch. And obviously he was in a good area that he felt comfortable, not thinking that people were scouting for people to rob. And that's the thing, is you never know when somebody's looking at you, to take what you have. This is in Houston, they have this thing called I think it's called jugging, where they look at people leaving the bank and are waiting for somebody to make a nice withdrawal from a bank and robbing them as they go home. So a lot of people get followed home, and as they're going coming out of their driveway, they get robbed. So like I said, the best advice, it's always stay armed. First of all, I'm always armed, but also don't get put in that situation. Just avoid it flat out. And the best way to avoid it is don't look like you're someone to be someone that's worth anything. It kind of sucks, but it's helpful. And nowadays, with the economy being the way that it is, robberies are going to be on the uprise. I'm noticing that here locally, that there's more and more robberies, and criminals are kind of dumb. They're robbing people for little things and not understanding risk reward. It's a really putting a gun on somebody and trying to get like a few dollars worth life in prison. If you're gonna rob somebody, rob it where it's gonna be worth it. That's my mindset. If I'm gonna rob somebody and possibly be life in prison, it's gonna be worth millions and millions of dollars. I wouldn't risk life in prison for like $20, something I can make in freaking an hour of work. But criminals are dumb, Yeah, so that's my advice for today is don't look like Mark, dress down, stay armed, be ready to throw down always. That's the other thing is, if you have a weapon, it's not about having it, but have that mindset that when you pull it, already have it in mind that you're taking somebody's life away, and be mentally prepared for that. That's why I tell people, don't mess with me. I got into a street fight a couple years ago, and I kept telling him, man, I don't want to fight you. I kept telling him, not to push it, because in my mind, people don't understand this. In my mind, I don't value human life. I see a human life like a mosquito. It's taking your life away. It's like taking the mosquito life away. I'm not religious. I don't care about any of that. If I have to take your life, I'll do it in a heartbeat and be completely happy. So I tell people, don't push my buttons, Homie kept pushing my buttons. He followed me. I walked away. I kept walking away. He kept following me, and I told him, hey, look, man, I don't want to fight you, but if you come at me, I'm going to let you have it. And I'm not stopping until you're either in the grave or in the hospital. I'm not stopping. And he says, we fighting. He came at me, bam, knocked him down, and I kept beating his ass until somebody pulled me off. If they didn't pull me off, I was not stopping. He did go to the hospital. I left him leaking in the side of the sidewalk. I don't stop, the reason I don't stop is because I'm not gonna let somebody get up, get a weapon. I don't know what they have in mind, And luckily, I live in a stand your ground state, so I'm not worried about the legal repercussions too much. Although I know that no matter what, you're going to jail. That keeps in my mind that no matter what, I'm gonna go to jail. Even if I'm not guilty, you still get arrested. You still got to post bail. You still got to go to trial and all that stuff. Maybe there was another instance a couple of weeks ago. I talked about it. I almost got robbed, and the only reason I didn't escalate, I tried to de-escalate, was because I'm like, man, I don't want to freaking go to jail right now and post bail, because I know I'm gonna go to jail. I'm kind of broke right now, and I'll probably I can beat the case, but I'll be in jail for a few days. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with that drama. So I was walking home. A couple guys followed me. Got a little confrontational, and I'm the one that I showed them, hey, look, man, you don't want this. Let's go. Let's go our separate ways. We went our separate ways, and luckily they didn't follow me. If they would have followed me home, then I had no choice. But luckily they weren't that stupid. But I was ready. Like I said, the only thing is I don't feel like suffering the financial consequences right now. But that's one thing too, is to keep in mind, like, if you can de-escalate a situation, do it, because it will get expensive. I have friends right now going to trial for murder, for self-defense homicide that happened about 2 years ago. And I think he's in trial right now, or pretty close to it. And it's cost him, I think, several thousands of dollars. I think probably $100,000 with lawyers, loss of work, bail money. It gets expensive, And that always goes through my mind. It's like I don't want to spend that money. So just keep that in mind. If you can de-escalate, always de-escalate. If you can avoid a situation, avoid it. But if you can't, be ready. Be ready to throw down. Stay armed. Have situational awareness. Everywhere you go. Don't be if you live in a high crime neighborhood like I do, don't walk around with your face on your phone, ear pods, listening to music. Just especially if you're alone. If you're alone, and at certain times of the day, you're kind of almost not asking for it, but you could get ambushed, you know. So just something to think about, to be alert, because don't expect the government to solve the issue of reducing crime. Especially if the economy tanks, it's gonna get really bad. Don't believe me, you know, just look around you and see the results. All right, that's it for this video. I'm gonna do some more on the same topic.